Have you ever noticed that the more you care about what people think, the more exhausted you feel? Like no matter what you do, it is never right. And have you ever had one sudden moment where you finally saw something clearly, and it felt like a heavy stone dropped from your chest? And after that, strangely, things started getting easier? Welcome back to the channel. I am glad you are here. Today, I want to sit with you like an old friend and talk about a sentence that sounds simple, but carries a kind of quiet power. When you finally see through things, life starts to move more smoothly. Not because the world suddenly becomes kinder, not because problems disappear, not because you get lucky overnight, but because your mind stops fighting battles that never needed to be fought. Your heart stops gripping what cannot be held. Your energy stops leaking into places that cannot pay you back. Here are the two big ideas we will live inside today. 1. Seeing through things does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming steady. You stop closing your heart, and you start widening it. 2. When your heart becomes steady, your karma becomes cleaner. When your karma becomes cleaner, your destiny begins to shift, not always fast, but unmistakably. Stay with me, because I am not going to preach at you. I am going to tell you stories. And while you listen, I want you to quietly ask yourself one honest question now and then. In this situation, what am I still not seeing clearly? Because that question alone is already practice. That question alone is already the beginning of awakening. A lot of people misunderstand what it means to see through life. They hear the phrase and imagine someone whose heart has gone numb, someone who trusts nobody, someone who says nothing matters, someone who looks wise but is secretly bitter. That is not seeing through. That is being wounded and calling it wisdom. Real seeing through is not a locked door. It is an open window. It is not losing faith in the world. It is losing illusions about the world. It is not pretending pain did not happen. It is refusing to let old pain paint your whole life in black and white. And the moment you start living like that, something strange happens. You do not become passive. You become capable. Life begins to feel smoother because you stop adding unnecessary resistance. Let me show you what I mean through a story about a woman named Leah. Leah was talented. She was responsible. She cared about doing good work. But her mind had one habit that quietly controlled her life. Leah lived through other people's eyes. If her coworker praised her report, Leah felt like she was floating. She would replay the praise in her head and feel safe for a few hours. But if someone said, "This part could be improved," Leah would not sleep that night. She would replay the sentence again and again, hearing it like a verdict on her worth. She became a human, whether vain. One comment could spin her in any direction. It looked like ambition. It looked like sensitivity. It looked like high standards. But inside, it was suffering. Because when your worth is rented from other people's opinions, you are never fully at home. Over time, Leah became tired. Then she became irritable. Then she began to assume that everyone was judging her, even when they were not. That assumption made her tense. That tension made her speak sharply. That sharpness created distance. Then the distance became proof in her mind that people disliked her. That is how karma grows in daily life, not as lightning from the sky, but as loops we repeat until they become destiny. One evening, Leah exploded over something small, not because the small thing was big, but because her inner pressure had been piling up for years. After work, she walked alone by the river, trying to understand what was wrong with her. She did not feel dramatic. She felt confused. Then, in that quiet moment, she read a short paragraph online. It was not fancy. It said something like this: when you truly see things clearly, your heart becomes wider. You stop holding grudges. You stop picking fights over tiny details. You stop wasting time on people and situations that cannot nourish you. You stop living inside a dream of how things should be. You return to what is real. Leah felt that paragraph hit her like truth, not because it was new information, but because it finally described her hidden exhaustion. She realized how many years she had spent circling the same pointless questions. Why did they say that? What did they mean? Do they like me? Do they respect me? How can I make them approve of me? That night, she did something different. She sat down and said to herself, not with hatred, but with compassion, I do not want to torture myself like this anymore. I want to move my attention from how they see me to how I see myself, and then to how I can treat myself and others with more kindness. That was her first awakening, not a grand enlightenment, a turning. And turning is powerful, because turning changes direction, and direction changes fate. From that day, Leah practiced something that sounds simple, but is extremely difficult in the beginning. When someone praised her, she smiled, thanked them, and quietly reminded herself, I appreciate this, but I do not need it to survive. And when someone criticized her, she practiced a different reminder. Let me see if there is truth in it. If there is, I will improve. If there is not, I will let it pass. But I will not let one sentence erase my entire value. At first it felt forced. Her body still reacted. Her chest still tightened. Her mind still wanted to spiral. But she was training something deeper than thoughts. She was training equanimity. In Buddhist language, this is the practice of being unmoved by praise and blame, not because you are indifferent, but because you are awake. You begin to understand that praise and blame are winds. They blow. They change direction. If you build your life on wind, you will never be steady. So Leah began to build her life on something else, on intention, on conduct, on inner honesty, on kindness that did not require applause. Weeks passed, then months. The same situation still happened, but Leah recovered faster. A comment that used to haunt her for days now lasted an hour. A moment of embarrassment that used to feel like death now felt like weather. And because she recovered faster, she wasted less energy. Because she wasted less energy, she had more strength for real things. Her work improved. Her relationships softened. Her sleep returned. Her life began to feel smoother, not because the world changed, but because she stopped being dragged by the world. Now, some of you might hear that and think, okay, that is psychology. That is confidence. Yes, it is psychological. And yes, it is confidence. But it is also karma. Because when you stop reacting, you stop creating unnecessary conflict. When you stop creating conflict, you stop planting seeds of isolation and regret. When you stop planting those seeds, your future becomes less angled. This is the kind of destiny shift that feels like luck from the outside. But it is not luck. It is clean cause and effect. Now let us go deeper, because seeing through things is not only about praise and blame. It is also about grudges. There is a sentence I want you to hold carefully in your mind. When you refuse to let small things go, you are not punishing the other person. You are locking yourself in a narrow room. Some people have incredible memory for pain. 10 years ago, someone spoke harshly to them. They still repeat it today. Someone did not invite them to a wedding. They keep a silent record. Someone once embarrassed them in a meeting. They replay it like a movie. From the outside, it looks like strength. I do not forget. I do not let people take advantage, but often it is not strength. It is a prison, because your mind becomes a wall covered with old grievances, leaving no space for new joy. In Buddhist teaching, there is an image like ripples on water. If you keep slapping the water, it stays chaotic. If you stop feeding it, it naturally calms. Life is the same. Some pain is inevitable, but suffering multiplies when you keep feeding the story. Seeing through means you finally look at the story and ask, is this worth my life energy? Is this worth my sleep? Is this worth my health? Is this worth my peace? And if it is not, you practice letting it pass. Letting it pass is not weakness. It is wisdom. Because wisdom is not only knowing what is true, wisdom is knowing what is worth carrying. Now, I want to introduce a second story. This one is about a man named Ethan, and it is about a kind of awakening that often arrives through the body. Ethan grew up believing that appearance was destiny, not only physical appearance, but social appearance, status, image, what others think. When his friends bought a certain car, Ethan felt pressure to buy something similar. When others upgraded phones, Ethan could not tolerate being behind. His income was average, but his spending tried to look like victory. Ethan did not call it vanity. He called it keeping up. He called it motivation. But the body is honest, and the body keeps records. One year Ethan started getting severe stomach pain. At first he ignored it. He worked harder. He slept less. He smoked. He drank. He told himself he would rest later. Then he collapsed. The doctor asked him, "Do you stay up late? Drink? Smoke? Live under constant stress?" Ethan forced a smile and said, "All of the above." During his time in the hospital, Ethan lay in bed and watched the other patients come and go. Some recovered and left. Some worsened. Some did not get to leave. That is when Ethan finally understood a word people say lightly until it becomes personal. Impermanence. Everything changes. Everything. The body changes. Relationships change. Money changes. Reputation changes. Opportunity changes. You can pretend it is not true for years, but one hospital room can make it undeniable. Ethan said later that he had never felt impermanence so clearly, because when you are healthy, you think your life is yours. When your health breaks, you realize life is not owned. It is borrowed. That was his second awakening, not the kind that makes you dramatic, but the kind that makes you honest. He looked back and saw what his image chasing had cost him. He had offended people who tried to give him good advice. He had ignored family who loved him quietly. He had pushed his body until it began to rebel. And he saw something else. He saw that nobody could pay the bill for his suffering. Not his friends, not his co-workers, not the people he was trying to impress. In the end, you are the one who carries your body and mind. You are the one who lives inside your consequences. When Ethan recovered enough to leave the hospital, he made decisions that shocked people. He sold the expensive vehicle and bought a simple one that was easy to maintain. He stopped buying status items on credit. He repaid debts he had delayed, including emotional debts to his family. He used his time to build real skills, not performative ones. Some friends laughed at him. They said he lost ambition. They said he gave up. Ethan just smiled and said, "Now I know what matters." That was his third awakening. Choice. Seeing through things teaches you choice. Before, you try to grab everything. Work, money, image, connections, relationships, entertainment. You hold so much that your hands become full and your heart becomes empty. After you see clearly, you begin to choose. You realize some things cannot be held. Time cannot be held. The past cannot be held. Other people's emotions cannot be held. The approval of the crowd cannot be held. So you stop trying. You also realize some things are worth protecting. Your principles, your health, your capacity for kindness, your relationships with people who truly care, your inner peace. That is real wealth. In Buddhist language, this is renunciation, but not in the extreme sense people fear. It is not hating the world. It is letting go of what poisons you. It is leaving space for what nourishes you. That is why, after Ethan made these choices, his life became smoother. His income did not magically double, but his expenses stopped bleeding him. His stress reduced. His relationships improved. His body healed. And because his mind was less frantic, he made fewer self-destructive decisions. When you make fewer self-destructive decisions, fate begins to feel kinder. Now we come to a fourth awakening, one that many people ignore until it is too late. The body is karma too. People talk about karma like it only exists in morality, like it only exists in big dramatic consequences. But karma is also in sleep, in food, in breath, in how you carry stress, in how you speak when you are tired, in how you treat your own nervous system. There is an old insight that many people realize late. When you are young, you trade life for money. When you are older, you trade money for life. And sometimes life cannot be bought back. So when you finally see through this, you begin to treat your body with compassion, not vanity. Compassion. You sleep because you understand that exhaustion makes you unkind. You eat well because you understand that inflammation makes you reactive. You move your body because you understand that stagnation makes you depressed. You breathe slowly because you understand that shallow breath creates panic. You stop pushing yourself to meet everyone's expectations because you understand that constant performance destroys the spirit. In Buddhist teaching, there is a phrase about the three doors of action: body, speech, and mind. Your body is not just a machine. It is the instrument through which you practice. Without the body, you cannot meditate. You cannot help others. You cannot keep vows. You cannot cultivate compassion. So taking care of the body is part of spiritual practice. It is part of destiny. Because when you are stable physically, you can be stable mentally. When you are stable mentally, you can act with wisdom. When you act with wisdom, you create cleaner karma. Now let us touch the fifth awakening, because it is the one that turns the whole heart. Gratitude. When you truly see through life, gratitude begins to appear naturally, not forced gratitude, not toxic positivity, real gratitude, because you realize how little is guaranteed. Parents are not guaranteed forever. Children will not stay beside you forever. Friends will not always have time. The person who asks if you are okay is not guaranteed to be there next year. The warm cup of water offered during a hard moment is not guaranteed. When you see this clearly, you stop treating kindness as something you deserve automatically. You stop living in the word should. They should understand me. Life should be fair. People should treat me better. I should get what I want. That word should create anger, because reality rarely matches it. Gratitude softens that anger. It reminds you, I already have more than I noticed. And gratitude does something very practical. It increases merit, not as magic points, but as real cause and effect. When you are grateful, you are less likely to lash out and harm people. When you are grateful, you are more willing to give back. When you give back, you create good causes. When good causes accumulate, life begins to support you in unexpected ways. You meet better people. You make fewer enemies. You receive timely help. You see opportunities you used to miss because you were too busy complaining. That is how gratitude reshapes destiny. Now let me pause and bring all of this into one simple image. Many people think a smooth life means no storms. But a smooth life is not a life without storms. A smooth life is a life where you know how to steer. Before awakening, you hit one wave and you panic. You ask, why me? You complain. You blame. You collapse. You stay stuck for years. After awakening, the wave still comes, but you respond differently. You say, this is painful, but it is not personal punishment. You say, some people leaving does not mean I am worthless. It may simply mean the conditions changed. You say, missing an opportunity does not mean I will never have one. It may mean timing was not ready. You say, some suffering is a message to change direction, not a command to stay trapped. And the moment you can see like this, roads that used to look like dead ends become bends. A bend is still a road. It just asks for patience. This is what Buddhist teaching calls turning from confusion to awakening. When you are confused, you only see suffering and resentment. When you awaken, suffering may still be present, but inside suffering you now have wisdom, compassion, and responsibility. And a person who lives with wisdom, compassion, and responsibility will almost always see life become smoother over time, because they stop creating unnecessary suffering for themselves and others. Now I want to make this even more grounded for you, not as a list of tips, but as a story you can recognize. Imagine two people in the same situation. Both face criticism. The first person hears criticism as a personal attack. They react, they defend, they argue, they lose sleep, they resent, they gossip, they create conflict. That conflict damages relationships. Those damaged relationships reduce support. Reduced support makes life harder. Life becomes sticky. The second person hears criticism and pauses. They check if it is useful. They take what is true. They release what is noise. They keep their dignity. They keep their heart. They keep their relationships cleaner. Their life becomes less sticky. Same external event, different internal response, different karma, different destiny. This is why seeing through things matters so much, not because it makes you special, but because it makes you free. Now let me speak to the part of you that might resist all of this. You might say, I understand, but I cannot control myself. That is honest, because none of us are blank pages. We carry patterns. We carry conditioning. We carry old wounds. We carry habits that fire automatically before we can think. That is why practice exists. Practice is not about being perfect. Practice is about changing the old causes into new causes. You may not be able to stop the first impulse, but you can lengthen the gap between impulse and action. You can add one breath. You can add one moment of awareness. You can add one sentence that is kinder. You can add one choice that is cleaner. And if you do that repeatedly, your destiny shifts quietly, like a ship changing course 1 degree at a time. Now we come to the part of the video where I want to talk to you like a real person, not like a teacher on a stage. There was a time when I also believed that smoothness meant life finally giving me what I wanted. I thought smoothness meant recognition. I thought smoothness meant people never misunderstanding me. I thought smoothness meant everything going according to plan. But the older I got, the more I realized that smoothness is mostly internal. Smoothness is the ability to stay human in pressure. Smoothness is the ability to not poison your own life with resentment. Smoothness is the ability to forgive the small things quickly. Smoothness is the ability to stop begging for approval and start living by values. Smoothness is the ability to accept impermanence without collapsing. Smoothness is the ability to protect your health as if it is sacred, because it is the vehicle of your practice. Smoothness is the ability to notice love and gratitude while it is still here. And I have seen this not only in my own life, but in people close to me. I have a friend who spent years obsessing over being liked. They were brilliant, but their mind was constantly scanning faces, reading tones, searching for proof of rejection. Every social event drained them. Every small comment haunted them. They would go home and replay everything, then make plans to perform better next time. Like life was a stage and they were never allowed to be tired. Then one year, they experienced a setback, a job rejection. Not the end of the world, but it cracked something open. They finally admitted that no amount of perfect performance could guarantee safety. So they began practicing a quieter question. What do I actually respect in myself? They started building self-respect through small conduct, keeping their word, being honest, being kind when nobody was watching, apologizing quickly, taking care of sleep, setting boundaries. They still cared what people thought, but it stopped being the steering wheel. And as that changed, their whole life began to loosen. They made new friends who felt safer. They stopped clinging to the wrong relationships. They stopped chasing people who only valued performance. They began to feel more supported. Outsiders called it luck, but it was not luck. It was the result of seeing through an illusion and living differently. I have also seen people go the other way, people who never learned to see through. They stay trapped in old grudges. They stay trapped in image. They stay trapped in the need to be right. They stay trapped in comparison. And years pass. Their circumstances change, but the inner prison stays. They keep repeating the same karmic loops, and they call it fate. This is why I want this video to be more than inspiration. I want it to be a mirror. So let me offer you a gentle self-check, not as a list, but as a moment of honesty. Is there something from long ago you still carry like a stone in your pocket? Is there a sentence someone said that still controls your mood today? Are you forcing yourself to satisfy every onus expectations even when your spirit is exhausted? Do you keep telling yourself life is unfair while ignoring the good you already have? If any of that is true, it does not mean you are broken. It means you have not fully seen the meaning behind those experiences yet. And meaning is not something life hands you. Meaning is something you cultivate through wisdom. Now, if you take only one thing from this entire long talk, I want it to be this. Seeing through is not indifference. Seeing through is deeper compassion plus clearer wisdom. When you see through, you do not become less human. You become more human because you stop being controlled by fear. You become softer and stronger at the same time. And that combination changes destiny, because when you are softer, you stop harming people unnecessarily. When you are stronger, you stop abandoning yourself. You stop leaking energy. You stop leaking blessings. You stop leaking time. You begin to live like someone who understands that every moment is a seed. Your speech is a seed. Your attention is a seed. Your choices are seeds. Your gratitude is a seed. Your patience is a seed. And over time, the field changes. Life becomes smoother, not because you eliminated all hardship, but because you stopped fighting reality with your ego. You started steering. Now let us close in a way that brings this to your life, because I want you to participate. I want you to share one moment in your life when you finally saw something clearly, and after that, you let go of an obsession, a resentment, a fear, or a relationship, and life slowly became easier. Maybe it was letting go of needing approval. Maybe it was a sickness that taught you what matters. Maybe it was a failure that forced you to change direction. Maybe it was the moment you stopped asking why me and started asking what now. Your story might be the exact medicine someone else needs tonight. If you enjoyed this slow, story-based way of talking about awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, practice, and destiny, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel so I can keep making long, deep videos like this, you can become a member and help keep this space alive. Thank you for spending this time with me. May you see clearly. May you let go gently. May you protect your health as the vessel of your path. May gratitude soften your heart. And may your life become smoother, not because life becomes easy, but because you become awake. At the end of the day, we all need something that brings us back to ourselves. Something that reminds us to slow down, breathe, and stay centered. Simple bracelet can do exactly that. Every bead you touch brings your mind back to calm, back to clarity, back to the present moment. If one of the bracelets you just saw resonates with you, you can find the purchase link in the video description and explore more beautiful styles in our channel store. Let the one meant for you find its way to your wrist.